back. Today's project is going to be swapping out the idler arm on our 1990 Toyota 4Runner. Underneath here on the passenger side is the idler arm. So you can see on this side it has 3 bolts, I believe, holding it onto the frame. Then it drops down and then connects to this cross member here, and that's how all your steering is kind of linked up along the front of the truck here. So here's the replacement idler arm. I picked up from Lordco. I'll give it, the part number will be in the description. So you can see here, here's the spots for the 3 bolts that hold it onto the frame. And then for this end, came with a boot. It goes on like that. And then your castle nut goes on the end and with the cotter pin. So this came with the kit along with this grease nipple down here. There's another hole right here for this joint that I found a grease nipple that I had in my own inventory that fit. Either I lost the one that came with the kit or it just didn't come with the second grease nipple, but I installed both of these and now we'll go take off the old one. Okay, so you always want to compare your parts, and it helps to hold them up side by side, and they are the same length and bolt pattern, so that's good. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, take out the cotter pin, undo the castle nut. Okay, next step is to undo the nut. It is a 17 millimeter. Not easy. Okay, now I'm gonna take my pickle fork. I'll try and get her out of here. There we go. There she's out. Okay, so I'm now gonna undo the 3 bolts. 1, 2, and 3 is up top here. And they are on both sides, they're both 17 millimeter. Okay, so there's one. And you will need to reuse these bolts unless you want to get replacement ones, but these ones look like they're in okay condition to reuse. There she goes. So one thing to note are the bolts are not all the same length. So you can see here, the top bolt is the short bolt. And just to show you what they look like side by side, they are identical, minus the fact that this one actually looks a little beefier, which I kind of like. And there's more greasable points on this one, considering this one doesn't have any greasable points on it. Okay, so I sprayed some rust check on the frame here just to protect it behind the plate. So one thing to make sure is don't forget the boot that goes over this part. And we're going to bring it up. I'm going to slide that end into the steering cross member there. Grab one of the bolts, slide it in. So now we've got all 3 bolts through, and now we're going to put the washers and the nuts on. Put the cross member back in its spot. Like that. Now we can put the castle nut on. Okay, so for these 3 bolts here that connect the idler arm to the frame, the factory service manual states that they should be torqued down to 105 foot-pounds. So that's these 3 bolts. And this castle nut needs to be torqued to 43 foot-pounds. And again, these 3 bolts are 17 millimeters on both sides. So the castle nut over here that connects it to the cross member here, the steering cross member, it is a 18 millimeter. Here's 105. Now the holes line up. Okay, so one thing you're going to want to do now is grease these points. Okay, so that wraps up the job of replacing the idler arm on our 1990 Toyota 4Runner. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching. Cheers.